Aloha, lovelies. Welcome to the Intuitive Eye. I'm Sophia Marie, and I'm here with a beautiful friend, Kekoa Enomoto. She's a native Hawaiian cultural practitioner of Oli chant, hula, outrigger canoe, which is how I met her. And she's also involved in establishing self-sufficient communities. She took that over when she came from the newspaper. Lifestyle. So we're so happy to have you and your Hawaiian energy, the aloha energy, which has become so important to me.
Thank you, Sophia.
Yes.
So I want to start our session off with an oli, a chant.
Perfect.
And I'm sitting here at my home in Kula, and this chant calls upon all of our guardians. Okay, and so Na'auma kua mai ka la hikia ka la kau, mai ka ho'oku'uia ka halavai. Na'auma kua ya ka hina alo, ya ka akau I ka lani o kiha I ka lani o e I ka lani kukulu I ka lani, na holo I ka lani, e ia ka pula pula o ko o na hano na kuliki o pi I lani, e malama o ko ia ma ko, e ului ka lani, e ului ka honua, e ului ka pai aina o Hawaii, e ho mai ka ike, e ho mai ka ikaika, e ho mai ke aka mai, e ho mai ka mau popopono, e ho mai ka ike papalua, e ho mai ka mana a mama ua no. So the reason I wanted to start with that oli is because it's calling upon our guardians to make our ike papalua grow. And ike papalua is kind of the Hawaiian word for intuition. And I have my trusty Hawaiian dictionary here. I just looked this up like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, and so it is that ike papalua that that made me go to my dictionary for this definition. Yes. So ike papalua, it says, to see double, to have the gift of second sight and commune with the spirits, supernatural knowledge, extrasensory perception. So in that oli, which is very common amongst our people that I just chanted, it talks about increasing our ike papalua. And it's something that my kumu, my teacher, said comes to us when we're in that stage between sleep and awake. There's an intermediate stage right there when we have that, we're really close to that ike papalua. So anyway, I just wanted to start our conversation off with that.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because I was actually going to ask how important is intuition to the Hawaiian culture?
I'm just speaking off the cuff here, but there are words for like kaho'okele, which was the person who looked at the stars and could tell the ships where to go, and was a prophet of sorts, was very revered. That was a revered position in our culture. And I think it reflects how important it is for people who could, who had that type of vision. There's another word in our culture, kauna. It means the secret poetic meaning of words. So for every Hawaiian word, there are like at least 3 meanings. So when like you're chanting or singing, you may be singing about a flower, but the kauna of that word means your loved one or your child, something that's cherished. So when you're singing a song, you're not just singing about the literal meaning, you're singing about something figurative. And it is up to you as a native Hawaiian or as a listener to read between the lines, to know what that other wisdom is in the song or the chant. There's another very famous chant, I think you might know it. E ho mai, have you ever heard of
Yes.
that? Yes.
Yes.
And that is what that chant is saying. Let me know the secret wisdom of the song. Yeah. E ho mai. I'm looking to the heavens to tell me, to reveal to me what is the wisdom of, whatever it is that's transpiring. And that's, kind of a second sight. So I think that's another way of saying, I mean, I looked up the word intuition in my Hawaiian dictionary, and there is no word for intuition, but I think, what I'm talking about is sort of could be translated as intuition.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love in that description how it said it's between sleep and awake. And even, outside of actual sleeping, I actually feel as a planet, we are actually in that cusp of, between asleep and awake. So this whole planet has been called to a halt, to pause and to wake up, so that we actually can tap into that site, so we can tap into that awakening. This whole energy, this whole event that is shaping the planet is for us to wake up.
That's a very incisive observation on your part. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that you also said your intuition made you look that up. So how often do you actually use your intuition? How much a part of it is in your life is intuition?
So I want to tell you a mo'olelo, a story. I had a dream, and this was in the mid 90s, and this is before I moved to Maui. And I asked my girlfriend, who can interpret dreams, what did the dream mean? And she said I was at a crossroads, and I could either become a kupuna, which means an elder, or I could remain a makua, which is an adult. And she said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, of course I want to become a kupuna. And she said, whom do you think of when I say the word kupuna? And I said, Pilahi Paki. And so she gave me 3 questions to ask Pilahi Paki every day. And the questions are, how may I honor you? Auntie Pilahi, how may I honor you? And Auntie Pilahi, what would you have me do today? And the third question was, Auntie Pilahi, how may I honor my mana, my spiritual power as a writer? So I asked Auntie Pilahi, and I never met, she's deceased, and I never met her in my lifetime. She was a kupuna from Maui. And I ask her these questions almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And she guides me. She tells me what to do. And sometimes it is something that goes against my grain. But, it's always been an adventure to follow what she tells me to do. And so shortly after I was given this guidance, I asked Auntie Pilahi, what she would have me do. And she said, well, I want you to call Poka Lainui. He is this lawyer in Waianae on Oahu. So I called Poka, and I'm like, Poka, this is sort of convoluted, but I'm communing with this kupuna, and she told me to call you. And he said, who's the kupuna? I said, Pilahi Paki, and he laughed, and he said that he and his wife, every Friday, they would like wrap up their work at 10 o'clock and I guess maybe have a meal, and then they would travel across the mountain to the windward side of Oahu, and they would go visit Pilahi Paki. She was their mentor, and they would sit at her feet until 4 o'clock in the morning. And so anyway, Pilahi Paki just told me to call Poka Lainui, and I did, and he just kind of laughed. And that is not the only time that she's told me to go talk to somebody that she's mentoring, someone else. And she just, has laced herself through my life. But I love that concept of honoring. You know, how may I honor? So whenever I have a problem or a conflict or a challenge, I always ask Auntie Pilahi, how may I honor this person that I don't like? Or how may I honor this problem that I have in my life? And I just think and she always responds. But I think that's such an interesting way of approaching crises, is how may I honor this crisis? And of course, whatever she's telling me is probably coming from some intuitive part of me. I'm probably, you know, actually communing with some part of my own self.
Exactly.
But I do it, you know, actively with her. And anyway, the woman who interpreted my dream, I told her about this, you know, this wonderful relationship I have with Pilahi Baki. And she said, you know, she said, it's like being a vacuum cleaner and being plugged in to that electrical current, that particular source of energy. And so she said, you're so lucky that you're plugged in, you know. And it's a source of intuitive energy that really guides my life. So personally, you know, that's how I allow intuition or Auntie Pilahi to guide me.
That's so beautiful. And I love, you know, that, you know, a tangible vision that people can connect to is like plugging in. Very truly, you can connect to this energy, to this information, to like the 360-degree view of information that you don't cognitively have, and allowing it in. So when you ask, how do I honor this crisis? In what way can I do that? Have you actually done that with what's happening in the world right now? Have you asked that question of Auntie Kahalahi?
Not specifically, but the first time that you and I had this little conversation by Zoom, I actually asked how I could honor you.
Oh.
And this is what Pilahi told me. She told me that I was to leave immediately and go down to the park here and pick up a produce basket. Because that particular day, they were handing out produce baskets for the neighborhood, you know, because of this crisis. So I went down there and I asked for 2 baskets. I asked for one for my neighbor who's 75 and is on dialysis. And then I got one. And I thought about that particular dictum that she said, it related to you because your whole mission in having these conversations is to help people during this pause, I'm trying to remember the words that you use. It was what do you envision, you know, and I just thought that was such a constructive, substantive thing that Pilahi had me do in this pause, to go and get vegetables and fruits for my neighbor, and this the result of that is that not only are we helping the farmers, because the county of Maui is paying, appropriated $30,000 to pay to the farmers to continue growing and continue distributing their produce. So not only are we helping our neighbors, but we're helping the vendors, the farmers. I just, you know, it was, even though I was honoring you, she was actually honoring you by having me help people in this pause. I mean, I hope that story makes sense, but I thought that was interesting. I mean, that's an example of how she'll tell me to do something and it will be seemingly unrelated to the question that I've asked her, but it really is, because that is your, I think that's what you're trying to help people do, is trying to make sense of this situation that we're in.
I just so received that, and thank you for, first of all, even asking that question and honoring me with that. And I just have tears with that.
Right? Right?
And
So, you know, I just realized by listening to the television that this is Women's History Month. So I think it's so wonderful that you are honoring us by, you know, asking us to share about ourselves. And so I wanted to tell you some more olelo about me.
yeah.
The first one is a story about, well, they're both actually stories about my father. My father was a pure Hawaiian man, and he he enrolled in the Air Force when the Pearl Harbor was bombed, and he was a pilot and an officer for 31 years. And anyway, so I've lived all over the world, and he was stationed in Colorado Springs, and he wanted me to go to Kamehameha School, which is his alma mater. It's a school for Hawaiian children. So he had already been assigned to the Pentagon. He had gone to the Pentagon, met his new boss, seen his office. But one of his buddies was passing through Colorado Springs from Hawaii, and he asked the man, "Are there any assignments in Hawaii? Because I want to bring my family home." And the man said, "Yeah, there's an opening at this certain base." And so Dad applied for that opening, and the general at that base in Hawaii outranked the general at the Pentagon by 3 months. And so he got to go to Hawaii. So my two of my three brothers and I got to go to Kamehameha. And you know, I think that was what allowed me to, I mean, I always envisioned that I would be married to a doctor or a lawyer, but I ended up marrying one of my classmates from Kamehameha, who was an artist. And I mean, that's, you know, I'm sure that particular decision by my dad to bring us home to go to his alma mater is responsible for me being so pili or connected to my culture. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just a story from who I am as a person. The other story is when I was a junior in college, I came home for Christmas, and my dad asked me where I was going to go to get a master's degree. And I'm like, what? What? I'm not going to get a master's degree. He said, every woman needs a master's degree, he told me. I think that's so enlightened for a Native Hawaiian man to say. Anyway, he said, every woman should be able to support herself. And so, so I proceeded to think about that, and I ended up applying to the University of California. Oh, and Dad asked me, you know, what do you want to get your master's degree in? I'm like, well, I think I can always get a job in journalism. So I ended up applying to the University of California at Berkeley School of Journalism, and have a Master of Journalism degree from Berkeley because of Dad. And that was actually the only graduate school I applied to. I told Dad, if I don't get in there, I'm going into the Peace Corps, and my dad was mortified. But anyway, so that's just a little bit of approach about who I am during Women's History Month.
I love that. And even the kind of twining through each story is that it's following the energy, which is intuition. You know, in asking, how do I honor someone, in your father asking to move home, all these things, they were led intuitively. And as you say, they affect more than just us. That was part of the premise of the intuitive eye, is that when we anchor into our intuition, we actually affect more. We actually become the intuitive we, and we actually affect humanity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, like the story with the produce, you know, that's about sustenance. That's about assisting you know, this beautiful island that I get to live on. I have the honor of living on, and it assists the farmers, it assists the energy, because that aloha energy is what, as a planet, we should actually move towards. You know, Hawaii actually being a, you know, an impetus and a showing of what it can be like. And how beautiful is that? Just by one seemingly simple thing, it actually shows how we can actually ripple that out.
And
Hmm.
I love that concept of Ike Papalua, you know, how honored we are to be given that gift between sleeping and waking, you know, that, and if we can tap into it, you know, I mean, I love to just wake up and be thinking about something and then act on it, you know. It's
Yes.
yeah, it's I mean, that Ike Papalua is such a great gift. Yeah.
Yes. I love that you bring that forward too, because action is important in following intuition. Because if we have the intuition and then don't do anything with it, you know, nothing happens. But action is energy in motion. So you're putting that energy that you receive, the intuition, into motion, which means it actually becomes active. So
Yeah.
that means you're activating that energy that came to you for a reason.
Hmm.
So that's part of how we can honor it and honor ourselves, is because we are given that gift. As you say, between the sleeping and wakening, we have that choice.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I consider it a very precious thing, and usually I'm drawn to the computer immediately, and at least am trying to record what action I should be doing, if not writing something, you know, that I've been inspired to write about. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I just have one other question. So again, in manifestation, we know it's not about looking at what's in front of us, but it's actually what we're looking to. So what I called the horizon, actually, those were the words I heard when I heard the vision about the intuitive eye, is
Hmm.
we are here to co-create the new horizon, which is actually what this planet is needing, the new horizon. That's what we're looking to, rather than what we're looking at, which is what's happening right now. So my question to you is, what is your sense of what is on that new horizon, of what's actually out in front of us, what we're moving towards?
Well, the thought that comes to my mind is based on something that I was watching on PBS either last night or the night before, and it was about our DNA, our genomes,
Mhm.
and what I got out of that uh, production on PBS is that the scientists have concluded that we are the different races are very alike
Mhm.
based on our genomes, regardless of our color, our stature, our gender. We are the races are very alike, and it said that we're more different as individuals, one individual to the other, than the races are different from one another. And you know, I've worked since I retired 11 years ago. I worked very diligently for for the uplift of my Native Hawaiian people, and that PBS production made me realize that, you know, all people are, I mean, we're all the same, you know. And so I guess I could say, you know, by my helping my Native Hawaiian people, I'm helping everybody. But also, you know, and now I hesitate to say, I mean, I was in a meeting yesterday of I'm the president of the Maui Lana I Mokupuni Council, which is an entity that encompasses 50 Native Hawaiian homestead associations on 2 islands. And I was doing the prayer before the meeting on Zoom, and and I'm like talking about helping my people, but then I said, and help all people, because that production made me realize that, we should be helping all people, not just our particular race, but because we're all so closely related. We all came out of like 10,000 people in Africa, according to this production. This little pod of people, they are the great grandparents of everybody on Earth, and so we're just essentially all related. And so I think what I'd like to see on the horizon is that we all realize how related we are, how we're all one family, and actually, you and I met in the same canoe. We're all in the same canoe, right?
Yes.
And let's all paddle together and paddle in the same direction. And that's how we'll make progress. I don't know, that's just based on what I saw the other night. And that's what I would say about the horizon that I would like to see manifest.
And that would be beautiful if we all recognize there is no separation, that we can be all in this together, and that
we're all connected, right?
Yes.
And my mentor, besides Pilahipaki, Ponoshim is his name. He says it's all about connection, not correction. I mean, people are out there trying to correct things. No, it's connect. Connect. Yeah, that's really the secret of it. Yeah.
Yes, to get out of judgment and actually come together. And that's how we actually shift consciousness, is that we come together. So how beautiful is that?
Yes.
So on that note of coming together, of connection, to end, is there a specific prayer or oli that you could lead us through that would have that energy of coming together as one?
Well, one of my favorite oli is about women, and it calls upon all of the chiefesses, the female deities, and the guardians to keep us safe and out of harm. And of course, it really relates to us as women, but also to men. I mean, all of these female deities and chiefesses help both men and women, because they are our mothers, essentially. So anyway, I'm gonna do that particular oli.
Wonderful.
Na au makua wahine mena tu puna wahine ali'i na au makua wahine I kahikina ai ka lana a kala na wahine I ka lewalani I ka lewanu o ole nu ole mano no o kani ka vai a ola o kahina a ola o haumea wahine o kani ka vi o kani ka wa o ku ho one inu o pele hunua mea o ka rā mai nu o ka mohailani o nu au nu akea o uli ka pau e nu akea o uli wahine ya ka hawili ya ka nilu honua ya ku ka lani ho one inu ya ni ho ai ka ulu ya le hulunu ya kama ya ka o ka ya nu ya umi ya ahu kini o ka lani ya kia hi o lawa ya ka maka o kia ya ka pogi no ka lani ya a apueo ya lili no ya ka ahumana ya pawahi ina o makua wahine a paulo ya oko paleka po paleka make paleka pilikia o ma ko kau ma pula pula na puke ia I ke a ho mai imana eli kapu eli noa I olo honu amama uano. I believe that's the oli I chanted in the ocean when I first met you, that first day I met you.
It is. There are no coincidences.
Thank you
Mm.
so much for this honor and privilege to share with you a little bit of my life and a little bit of my culture and a little bit of my mana'o, my opinion.
Mm,
And
thank
thank you for the work you're doing, Sophia.
Aw, thank you. And thank you, Kekoa, for sharing the culture and yourself and how it expresses through you, because again, the Hawaiian culture and that aloha spirit has become so important to me, and as putting that forward in the various ways of being. And it's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing it, and such a gift and such an upliftment. I believe people, like, despite not knowing some of the words, they will feel the energy of it and know that it is about coming together. So thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome. Mahalo.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha,
Hakuiho.
lovely. Yeah.
Aloha.
And thank you for joining the Intuitive Eye, and we will see you next time. Aloha.